I'm Drew, I'm That Frog Guy, and today we're going to talk about my year review. I wanted to do one before January is up, and I wasn't sure what I was really going to talk about. So I figured we'll just film it and see what happens. So let's talk about the beginning of the year. As you guys know, we're in a different room now. We're in the basement. We are in the reptile room. I'll turn it around. You guys can take a look. Look at all that stuff. Sorry for the bumpy tripod. Whoop. That's the newest thing starting out this year of 2018. Now that it's 2019, it's wild how much things have changed. I was just thinking about it. Back when we were upstairs, we still had the other frogfish, which I was going to name a Munster, I think was the name we came up with. We also had the first Gitrog monster, and those are two big losses of that year in the spring there. But we also managed to put this room together, and we've added a lot of stuff. I have filled almost every wall in this place and have built lots of stuff we've added. We'll just kind of go around and I'll just kind of look at a tank and talk about it maybe. Well, first we got the new tank behind me. That one's freshly set up saltwater. We have this 30 gallon that was also set up, one of the first tanks we set up in this room. But we also got my new frogfish, Pennywise. He's one of my favorites. He's doing great. He's outlived the other one by, I don't know, the other one only lived like 30 days, I think I clocked it to. We got him back in August, so August, September, October, November, December, January. He's like 6 months old almost, 5 months old, something like that. Bandit's still around, though he's moved tanks quite a bit. Now he's down in a tank over there. We also had to do some changing on Noodle's tank, as you can see. I don't know if my camera focuses. It's all super white, so I took the rock out of the other tank that was cycling behind me since the rock finally cycled, and that tank was covered in algae, so I swapped that out. But we set up the Firebelly Toads tank. We hatched a turtle. We had so many tadpoles turn into frogs. I have tree frogs of 2 different species, local species. We have salamanders that I got from eggs. What else? We got a new pixie frog. I've set up so many vivariums now. Taddis has got a girlfriend. My first dart frog has a girlfriend. We have Azurius and Aratus now, so I don't get confused as much. The Intimidators still haven't reproduced yet, which is kind of sad. Casey's still old as crap. Khaleesi got a new tank. She's looking at me right now. We got, what's his name? Alfredo, the snake, the ball python. We have taken in Tortellini this year. He was a new addition. So of the original people we had, or creatures we had Casey. We have Floki, so that's 2. We have Khaleesi. We have Cersei, that's 4. And then we have the 2 dart frogs. I'm counting as 1, Mulder and Scully. And then Thaddeus, the other dart frog. And I guess Bandit is another original one. Everybody else is new down here. Oh, we got our first ever, what do they call it? Hognose snake. She's from the hole, but she does freak me out because she's always so hungry. I don't know if she's going to eat my finger because it kind of looks like a pinky. No pun intended. But she's always hungry. What else is new? There's a lot of new stuff in this room, and lots of goals I want to have with this. By the way, I haven't been uploading because I've been, well, kind of sick, and also just kind of enjoying not uploading videos all January. It's been cold and nasty, and I'm so happy to, like today, this morning, it was 28 below outside. It was so nice to come down here and sit in, you know, almost 80-degree weather. My heaters are running like crazy, so, you know, it's probably closer to 72 in here. But yeah, I guess I'll talk about other random stuff too. Like we got the misting system set up on 9 tanks. I think that's pretty good. We've, as you can see up there, we got my power strips hung. We got a new light. I've also hung some up over across the room. We'll talk more about like each individual tank at the next reptile room video because I don't want to spoil too much or change too much. Chromia. if I get him in frame, he's doing pretty good there. He's one of my newest betas. He's so pretty. I love his tank. I don't know. I gotta decide if I'm gonna keep some of these guys long term, like the salamanders, the spring peepers, those green tree frogs. I really like the tree frogs. The toads, bandit, and noodle. Some of the ones I've named. I would like to do some bigger, better tanks down here instead of some of all these tiny little ones with all these different pumps and all these different heaters and all these different lights. It's expensive. I won't lie. Electricity for last month of December, well, from like the 14th of March or 16th of November through the 16th of December. And that was the coldest time till now. After the 16th of December, it warmed up until about mid-January. It was in the 30s. So I don't think my next bill will be high, but the bill after that, from the 16th, so like last week till the middle of February, that's going to be a really high bill, especially with propane coming in. But the last one for that other cold stretch we had until now was $375 for electricity. And that includes my house and running TV, lights upstairs, and everything. But it also includes a good portion of this reptile room. So I wouldn't mind. I'm trying to upgrade to LEDs where I can. I want to make it a little safer. I need some GFI plugs. I don't know how you describe them. They plug into the outlet and you plug stuff into them. It's kind of like, because this room has no GFI and there's no way I can put any GFI except for like 2 plugins on this wall, which are on the wet wall, so I could do that. But I want to do that. I want to hang up my power strips before spring season, get everything way off the ground because it will flood. It always floods, and rather have everything off the ground about a couple inches and not have to worry about that. In my life, I got a new job, I got married, bought a new car. Yeah. And none of this is from ad revenue. I am not making anything on this channel, obviously. I only have, well, I've hit over 500 subscribers, so thank all of you for that. And we're almost to 600. I was just looking right before I did this video, I'm like 596 or 597 or something weird like that. Obviously the two things I have that count don't always sync up, so it's kind of weird to know exactly what I'm at any given moment, because you do lose a couple if you don't do videos on things. And my channel's really kind of morphed. I want to do DIY videos, but man, they are time and money intensive. I don't have that amount of time of editing and all that stuff to do these, but I want to do a couple videos. I'll turn the camera. So over in that area where I got these 2 tanks here, well, probably point with my finger, not at the camera, these 2 tanks here, I'm thinking I want to put a big caiman lizard display probably on that entire wall. So Pennywise, this tank, will have to move probably where this 30-gallon tank is at. And I'm thinking maybe in this area over here where we have these 2, well, feeder tank and then right now Bandit's kind of a temporary home. I think I'm going to give Bandit to my mom. Hopefully she doesn't kill it, because every fish I've given to her she's killed. I feel super bad. But Bandit is old and tough, and she's got a new tank that he might go in. We'll see. I would put him in with Noodle, but they've tried to kill each other plenty of times already, and I don't want to do that again. My hair is crazy right now. Let's see if I can keep it back. But I'm thinking I'll move the 30-gallon here, move Pennywise next to the saltwater here, and maybe do a combined sump for the 2 tanks, saltwaters. I don't know yet. If you have any cool ideas too, I do want to. Other creatures I'd love to get for this room would be, I want to get another Pac-Man frog. I really miss Ziggy. He was always looking, waiting for food. Gitrog is cool, but he's not as, I don't know, he's not the same. Like, Ziggy was different. He's my first frog, and I kind of miss him. But I do have that other little tank set up over there. Maybe for him, another one eventually. Wait, there. Hard to aim and do this at the same time. What else do I want to do? Well, Tortellini's going to need to get a big, huge area, and obviously B, the painted turtle, is going to have to get a bigger tank eventually this year. So where I'm kind of sitting now might become a pond area. I don't know, kiddie pool maybe. I don't know, I gotta think about this. I would love, if I had more money, I'd build a whole outbuilding somewhere and on my land here and build it properly and have good electricity, ports and everything, but you know, you do what you can with what you got. I could buy less creatures and probably have enough money to do that, but I digress. I've kind of hit a point where now I need to start swapping things out. I can't really add much more. There's a couple things I want to add for a couple empty tanks, but most of the stuff is kind of there. I'm really depressed about those tadpoles since they're one is finally getting legs. I lost two, so what I had to do, none of them were morphing. It's been over 90 days. It's what's in September, so all of October, all of September, all of October, all of November, all of December. That's 4 months, and almost all of January they hadn't morphed out. So I moved them about halfway through this month into about the 3-month mark, 4-month mark. The 4-month mark, I moved them into a critter keeper up over there. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, it's kind of glowing up there. They're in that little critter keeper. And lost two the night I put them in there. I don't know how, but I put them all back together because I was reading that these species are a little more social. Maybe they need the more... my hair is going crazy. Let's just comb this to one side, shall we? They're a little more social, but now one is finally getting legs, and I'm hoping they finally morph out so I could finally fill that other tank up there. What other weird losses I had? So, this tank behind me, I was really worried about, of course nobody's out, I was really worried about the Tanaka's pygmy wrasse and the, what are you called, black comb tooth blenny. They were almost dead in the bag. I was so worried, and I wanted to do a video on it, on doing them, and it just was not gonna work, and it was so cold. Luckily they both made it. They're both really interesting fish, both of them. Way more interesting than Mangai cardinals. But I digress. Other things I wanted to have in this room. I've been really eyeing up the idea of having a dragon eel. A big old dragon eel tank. Just dragon eel, rock, coral, and then a bunch of damselfish. I wouldn't put banded in there, I like them too much, but I'd put a bunch of little tiny damselfish in this huge, it has to be almost 100, I'd probably do 150, 180 gallon tank, probably try to stay at the minimum, but I'd probably do a nice sump, and I'm thinking, like with the saltwater, I kind of want to do a single sump for all the tanks in the other room, through the wall. Big old sump, then I don't have to worry about as much. Essentially I'll be having like 300-400 gallons of water between tanks. I like these species only tanks for saltwater because there's so many weird fish that can't be kept together, like frogfish and lionfish and all these other, like a lionfish would be fun, like volition and maybe the dragon eel, but I'd rather probably just have a dragon eel by itself in a tank, but that's a pipe dream. I'd rather get myself my caiman lizard that I've been wanting for a long time. It was one of the first lizards I've wanted when I've gotten back into this hobby. Mostly because they're like a tegu. You can hang out with them, you can play with them. They get big, which is cool. I like the idea of a big old lizard. But I'd have to make a huge plywood aquarium for him, or tank, and it has to probably be 6 feet tall by 6 feet long by 4 feet wide or something. A huge thing. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with that. Do I want to do a build of the plywood? Is it going to be cost effective? You know, I'm going to have a pond in there, filtration. Do I want to put fish in the water? If I want to put fish in the water, I have to add a big old sump for essentially, 150 gallons worth of water I'm going to need. I was thinking archer fish would be kind of cool in there, and a bunch of Amazon-ish fish in the water would be kind of cool. Kind of doing a polydarium style tank with, make it a flow so it's like a riverbed, enough flow in there. I don't know, I kind of want to do that. We'll see if I ever find a caiman lizard for sale at a decent price, or if I'm gonna, and then I'll probably have to set up a tank about the size of Khaleesi's, or no, I'd probably need a 40-gallon reptile tank temporarily for it while it grows, while I build out this tank. But I don't want to start building it out unless I actually have one, because, you know, I don't want it to be sitting empty. Even though I'd like to grow some plants in it, like plants sitting behind me here. are some of the ones I want to put in there. I really like natural plants, but I'm also, it's really weird, like for me in this hobby, being on the frogs, the reptiles, the fish, all this different things. You kind of go in waves of what you like. So like me, like right now I'm really in the saltwater again. I'm like, oh, let's get some new corals. I'm up on my water changes. I've been testing to make sure my tanks are good. Like this one behind me, I got that big old new light, which all the tanks that don't have LED are going to get LED this year, just to reduce costs, except maybe keeping that one T5 bulb there that's really good at growing coral. It doesn't give them any color, but it's really good at growing coral. But I'm going to upgrade everything to LED, try to reduce electricity costs there as much as I can, and try to condense as much down as I can, less tanks, more stuff. But I really think it's these heaters running, trying to keep this room at 70 some degrees with how cold it is outside. Luckily I'm in the basement because the rest of the house is cold as crap. I can't keep the house above 60. The heaters are running constantly. I also want to do something with the ceiling. I don't know if you guys have noticed how ugly the ceiling looks in this place. That's kind of what I want to do this year, kind of the creatures I want. I don't want to add anything major. There is frogs I might be getting that I want to get really soon. Rantiomea Fantastica Intimidator, or Reticulateds. I'm gonna get a Exoterra eventually and probably set one of those up. I really want a trio. I have got a line on 3 Tads, I'm thinking, maybe Froglets, I haven't decided. They're just kind of spendy frogs, so I'd rather go the Tad route, just personally. Because I like raising them up, but with this last experience of these, what are they called? Santa Isabella one's not, morphing out. Do I really want to go through the trouble again? So I don't know. I'm definitely gonna get those frogs, and I'm definitely gonna get, if possible, a Cayman lizard for sure. That's gonna be my 2 big things this year, and obviously filling some of these saltwater tanks with coral, because I really like coral. And once it's going, like one thing I've learned about this room, it's kind of a godsend and kind of my downfall at the same time, is you have so many tanks you can't really focus on one, but letting the plants and coral grow out has been probably the best thing for this, because I was messing with, when I had Ziggy's tank, I was just messing with it, constantly moving plants around, adding new plants, and now I've kind of let all these vivariums grow and they look great. Same thing with the coral tanks. I used to add a ton of corals and move corals around, and I just said, screw it, I'm going to glue them in place, let them grow, and because I have too much other stuff to do, and now they're looking really nice. So there's kind of the benefit, but the downfall. I can't really focus on one tank. There's always something I like. I should just say there's one thing I like about every tank. Currently, I really like the scape on Noodle's tank. It's just the rocks from the 20 gallon that's behind me. That was going to be my SPS tank. But I just needed some rocks. The whole tank was filled to the brim with hair algae because a bunch of snails had died in there. Whoever ever gets in the saltwater hobby, replace your sand. It's not smart to reuse sand. There were so many dead things in it that it just polluted the water and killed all my snails, and it just made it worse. Luckily, Bandit survived. But now I swapped tanks out. The other one's still sitting in the other room. I'm kind of letting it dry out. I want to scrape the algae off, and I don't know. But I kind of want to up this year. I want to upgrade equipment more than I want to upgrade creatures or buy new creatures. I kind of like my creatures now, but some of them will go, some of them will stay. Like this 30 gallon tank, I really like a planted tank. It's kind of doing okay, but freshwater is kind of boring. It's kind of boring compared to saltwater. There's not as cool inverts. You get a couple shrimps. Lots of little minnow fish. Like the one thing about saltwater versus freshwater is a lot of little fish in freshwater, and you can only get big fish in saltwater, so you need bigger tanks. So I don't know. We'll see what I do in the future, but it's kind of my little spiel on what I want to do this year, 2019, kind of what happened in 2018. What else? I feel like I'm missing something, but I'm going to do a big reptile room video, probably push it off till next Tuesday, so a couple days after the 1st. I kind of like get them out on the 1st, but it's a Friday, and it's, I don't know. I also would like to, personally, I'd like to say, make some money in this hobby so I could fund this room. Because I love doing this stuff, and I love coming down here, enjoying the warmth, and looking at all these tanks, and kind of just being able to space out and enjoy this room. And I'm trying to make more time to do that. After work, I sit down here probably for 2 hours. Not 2 hours, I get home at 5 and late from about 6. So I sit down here about an hour after work just enjoying the reptile room. Because now that I have so many tanks, YouTube channel, I haven't had really time to enjoy these tanks. And now I'm kind of stepping back, doing some enjoying, having some fun. And yeah, I've been all over the place with this channel and YouTube and reptiles and amphibians, but I gotta say it's one of my favorite things, just coming down here and enjoying all the time I get to spend with these creatures. I wish I could spend more time. I wish I could have all the time in the world to sit here every day and mess with tanks and add new tanks, and you know, but it is what it is. It's a fun escape from work and stuff. And I'm gonna obviously keep doing YouTube videos. Don't think I'm not doing YouTube videos. I'm gonna still do some YouTube videos, but I think I'm gonna have a little less. I've been enjoying just having the time to enjoy, but then again, who knows? I might change my mind and start pumping out videos again, especially when February hits. I kind of, once I get over all these colds and get the room is getting nice and stable, which when I first got this room set up, everything was going hectic and wild, and I don't know. But there's more. I just can't think of it at the moment. So I'm gonna leave this video probably uncut for this whole thing. Just make sure the audio lines up. But I'm Drew. I'm that frog guy. Thank all of you guys for subscribing. I think this is my second or third year doing YouTube, so having almost 600 subscribers is pretty good, I guess. So thank you guys for liking my content. I need to come up with more content for you guys who love plants and bonsai. I haven't touched a video in a while. They're all doing good. Most bonsai trees are doing great. I just haven't had time or kind of the desire to do a solid bonsai videos for a while. So, but like, subscribe, and you guys, you know, hit the like button, thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. Leave a comment. Hit the notification bell thing. I don't know. You guys know what to do. Everyone tells you what to do anyways, but you can do what you want. It's your life, your channels, whatever. But I'm Drew. I'm that frog guy, and probably see you next time.